Hi everybody, it's Jenny coming to you here in the evening. Ooh, the camera just did something funky. All right, now it looks like it's daytime. Well, it is daytime. It's dusk. Um, Again, apologies. It's been a bunch of days. I know, the usual. My life is crazy busy. I am planning my daughter's wedding, which is coming up in just a couple weeks, and then 2 weeks following that, I have a weekend retreat for 3 nights with between 60 to 70 women. Just a lot on my plate right now. So, and then the rest of just life that happens and keeps you busy every day. All right. So, I'm going to talk a little bit today about loading, which is backtracking a little bit because I'm a couple weeks into this now. But I want to start going through some of the notes and things I have here before I dive into some of the books, and I want to throw some of these notes away and some of these notes that I had from another video that I watched of a doctor talking about HCG had some loading information that I thought was interesting. So that's what we're going to talk about. All right, before we do that, let's look at numbers. How am I doing on my diet? We have days 11, 12, 13, and 14 to cover today. Kind of interesting. So, around the time that I usually plateau, and we'll see how this goes. All right, so the last time I talked to you, I had -0, and then -0.3, and -0.4. And then I had a 1 pound loss. And so I thought, okay, it all kind of just adjusted itself because usually I average about a half a pound loss a day on this diet. That's my norm. But then we went into day 11 where I had a plus zero point 0.4, and day 12 I had a plus zero point 0.3. Those freaked me out a little bit because now we are plus a half a pound. So that means I'm about a pound off because I should be a half a pound under, not a half a pound over. There's a whole pound discrepancy in these days. Now, typically, we don't worry about this stuff unless it happens over 3 to 5 days, and then we start getting really concerned as long as everything else is the same. In terms of myself, everything else was the same as to how I do my HCG and the foods that I eat. And we know that I do HCG adjacent kind of eating. So, what was the first day I gained? I had a little bit of buffalo chicken dip, which is really mostly all chicken with just some liquid to kind of hold it together, and then ate it with a ton of celery sticks. I mean, sometimes I just stick the celery stick in there and just get a little bit of the sauce or juice on it and then just take a bite and eat it. So, like, I really down the celery sticks. I eat probably a whole bundle of celery sticks with the bowl I have, and it's not a full bowl by any means of buffalo. It's maybe a cup, maybe a little more than a cup, roughly a cup, a cup to a cup and a half. Yeah, maybe closer to a cup and a quarter, let's say, of buffalo chicken dip. I don't know, I never measured it. All right. So the day after I did that gain on the buffalo chicken dip, because I had been having it the days before and having some losses, and I thought, maybe I need to do something to kind of switch it up. So I had 2 chicken patties, which are pre-cooked, and you just heat them up in the microwave. Come in a big box from Costco, with a huge bowl of lettuce with some honey mustard dressing on it. Now, I was just going to do 1 chicken patty, but they were like 120 calories a piece, and this is the only thing I was eating that day. And with the exception of the, drizzle of the honey mustard dressing, there's no calories in all of that roughage of all of that lettuce. So I justified 2 patties because I thought we're still staying under 500 calories, right? Although that was the day the next morning I get on the scale, it said plus zero point 0.3. So, what did I decide to do? I decided to do an adjustment. If you follow last round, for the very first time ever, I did intermittent fasting where it was fasting for a day. And it seemed to be kind of successful for me. So I thought this is what I'm going to try to do. So I did. The next day, no food. I got on the scale the next morning and said I lost 1.4 pounds, which adjusts for the other 2 days. It kind of brings everything back into perspective again. Now, um, the next day, I went back to the buffalo chicken dip with a whole stalk of bunch of celery, and that was my meal. And I lost minus point 0.1. So I was like, okay, all right. It's still a minus after a day of minus 1.4. So I didn't know how your body adjusts to like fasting for that long and then putting food in it if it like wants to hold on to it. I don't know. It's not supposed to because everybody says intermittent fasting's great and it's good for your body and it's good for dieting. So, but I'm just a skeptic. I'm a skeptic of everything. I'm still a skeptic of HCG. I'm a skeptic of the drops. I do it and I lose weight, but I'm still a skeptic. Um, all right, let's go on. We have 2 more days. The next day, oh no, we only have one more day. All right, so we did the buffalo chicken dip. I lost point 0.1. And then the next day was yesterday. And it was another one of those days where I was just so busy all day that it was after 8 o'clock at night before I got around to getting myself something to eat. And at that point, I said, no, I'm not going to eat. It's not like my stomach was growling. It's not like I was really hungry. I just thought, ooh, eating would be fun until I look at the clock and go, yeah, no. I try not to eat after 7, but I definitely don't eat after 8. And this was like 8:29 or something like that. It was clearly after 8 o'clock. So I just went to bed. And today the scale said minus point 0.7. All right, I'll take it. Not a huge number for not eating all day, but still a good number because, let me just point out, we have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on, I miscounted. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days without a bowel movement. Even with all that roughage, I either have a huge bowl of lettuce or I have an entire bunch of celery every day. I'm not using all of those calories to function, so it's one of these days. Um, we'll see. It'll be interesting. I really had to go. I was trying on dresses for my daughter's wedding. To no avail. It was not a beautiful sight. I'm glad y'all weren't there to witness it. I was very sad myself. At any rate, at one point when I was in the dressing room, I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. I was right in the middle of the dressing room. There was a line of people. I had like 3 more dresses to try on. I'm like, I have to wait. I just have to wait. I have to wait. Well, the feeling passed and never came again. And then just today, I was getting all the knickknacks I need to put together all the welcome gifts for the 63 women that are coming to an upcoming retreat that I have. And I'm in the middle of the store, and then this is 3 days after last time. I thought, need to have a bowel movement. Can't. I'm in the middle of Dollar Tree right now. There are no bathrooms here. They are not public. So I finished up and I came home and feelings passed. So it should be quite a journey when the time actually comes. That being said, let's talk a little bit about, just for a second, about the magnesium citrate complex. I have been taking those, one every day. They're supposed to help with your sleeping. They're supposed to help with overall weight loss. They're supposed to provide extra nutrients and all that. And they are supposed to keep you regular so you have a bowel movement every day. Doesn't seem to be working for me. Hopefully I'm getting benefits from the rest of the stuff. That's actually why I started taking it, because of the inconsistent bowel movements and how infrequently I have them on this diet. I do in life in general, but certainly on this diet with the significant restriction of food that we have. To no avail. Let's talk about loading. The couple things I just wanted to point out. Now we know with loading that we have to do it for 2 days. We start taking the drops on the first day that you're loading. So you start taking the drops on day 1 of loading, you continue taking your drops or your injections, however you're taking your HCG. I should say HCG, not drops, but you continue to take the full dose on the second day while you're loading, and then you just continue with the drops throughout P2, no more loading, strict diet. We also talked about how some people load and just enjoy themselves and eat absolutely anything that they love with no regard to calories, fat, carbohydrates, anything. They just see it as a blissful indulgence of food to get it out of their system so that it's easier for that month to do the diet. I don't judge those people. I've been there. I mean, I think I've been there every single round. I do it a little bit differently now than I did at the very beginning in terms of I don't buy a whole box of little Debbie Swiss cake rolls and eat them with a whole bag of cheese corn and then stop by McDonald's and get a large chocolate shake with a double quarter pounder with cheese and a large fry. Eat those for like lunch and then continue on. I don't do that anymore. I do not do sugar and sweets in general, but I don't 100% eliminate the carbs. And you really should when you load. When you load, it should be fat. Now, what this doctor said that I had written down is that she feels that 80% of your calories must come from fat. I should probably reference her name again, Janine Talty. Dr. Janine Talty, if you will. 80% of those calories should be coming from fat. She monitors and works with many patients who are on doing the HCG diet. Now, she said during this loading time, mixing fats and carbs will make you gain even more. You can gain not much during the loading phase if you eliminate those carbs, which I find very interesting. If we can talk about this for just a second. Because in general, when you're dieting, they say if you're going to eat any carbs, pair it with a fat to help eliminate the results of the like insulin blood sugar level spike kind of thing to taper it a little bit more. And they say it goes against conventional thinking, but really, if you find yourself cheating any time, even whether you're dieting or not, and you're having some sort of carb, it's not good to have carbs in and of themselves. That you should be having a protein. Was it a protein or a fat now? I'll be honest with you, I don't remember. I'd have to look that up. Anyway, that was what made me think of it when I read that line that she said during loading, mixing your fat and carbs may make you gain even more. And this might be why when I load, I usually gain about 5 pounds. And then my first 2 days of the diet, I usually lose 5 pounds. So that's just sort of my pattern. But I will say, at least when I have carbs, I don't have sugar carbs. Mine are more like a baked potato, one of my favorite things in the world, piece of bread, a grilled cheese sandwich. Those are my kind of carbs that I have in loading that probably you should stay away from, but you do you, boo. I'm proud of you if you can do this the absolute strictest correct way. Good for you. Only 80%, not only 80%, only 20% of the calories should not be from fat. So that includes protein, actually. That statistic. 80% of your calories must come from fat. It's supposed to be a fat loading phase. And then she goes on to explain that if you don't have enough fat in your system during these 2 loading days, that it is very likely that it will lead to unsuccessful diet because the HCG may not get into your system the way it needs to. It needs those extra fats in it for the HCG to kind of hook onto and get into your system. All the specifics of that, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I just share with you medical advice that I get on HCG from other professionals who are doctors and experts in the area. So I found that very interesting. It is a motivation to really try to focus on the next time I do a loading phase, trying to make it all fats and make sure that I, as best I can, try to hit 80% of my caloric intake to be fat. Okay, that's all I have here. She also said to do, well, that's just about the diet in general. Okay, we're going to skip the rest of this and do it another time so that this video doesn't go on forever. But I found that interesting. I thought I'd want to share with you. I hope your diet's successful. So, where am I? I'm on day 15 and I've lost 8.2 pounds so far this round, which is pretty good because I only went a week or two in between rounds, maybe 2 weeks. I think I went about 2 weeks um, in between rounds and put a little weight back on. So it feels good to be losing some good numbers in this round since it was so close to the last one. And technically, you're not supposed to do it, but life circumstances made me have to stop the HCG diet. All right, yeah, 8.2 this round. That's not bad. We'll see how we do tomorrow. Yesterday was my no eat day, so today was minus zero point 0.7. I went back to my celery and buffalo stuff today, so it'll be interesting. All right, that's all I have to share. Any successes you have, share them with me. Any great diets, tips and recipes, share them with me. And I'll try to remember to share all these online too. That's what I need to do one day is just go through all my comments and write them all down on a sheet of paper so I can mention it to everybody when I read them here. Sometimes I'm not so good about that, but I do read everything that you say. So you take care. Have a great day. Happy dieting. I'm hoping this warm weather is helping you. It helps me to not eat so much. And I have got less than 3 weeks before a wedding where I have to get into, well, I'm going to fit the dress because I already bought it and it fits. If I don't find a better one. Don't you hate it when you get a dress and you're just not in love with it? I don't know how many more stores I'm going to go to, and there's no more online shopping I'm going to do because it hasn't been successful. So it is what it is. Just the color looks drab, but it matches my daughter's colors, which are fall-ish colors. This is kind of brownish dress. I just doesn't. It's not complimentary to my skin, but it is what it is. A little mousy. I feel like it ages me. Look like the dowdy mother of the bride in the dress instead of the fun, hip mother of the bride. Yeah, whatever. Maybe that's what I am. Take care. Talk to you next time. Bye.